Good afternoon. It is Friday, December 2nd, 2022. Um, Ends up being a range day, but really it's an uptrend day because this sell-off happened like right at 5 a.m., 5:15, and then we just trended up for the rest of the day. So I might change some of these to blue, but we'll take a look. Um, Now I'm seeing there wasn't really a whole lot of trades today, but you could have gotten in on this big move, and I wonder if anyone in the forum got in on that. So the way I saw it was in the overnight we had this leg up, and you have a break, and you have a leg up to a new high, maybe two legs up to a new high, and then we break through the EMA to the low side, and then we come up and we test that high, and you get a second entry, and you could even argue for it to be a double test of that price level. So I think I think that's a great entry with a lot of room back to the EMA, and you can see it shoots through the EMA, comes back and tests it, and then it's off to the races. And that's like a 60-point move or something like that. Uh, so we come down here, we make a low, and then we just start trending higher. So you get this two-legged pullback, but it just goes sideways after that. And you can see this is very congested. I had an interruption, but we're going sideways. We get two legs down here, probably to test this low, but that fails. And when you get that bounce, draw that trend line. You don't know it's going to come back to there, but if you drag it up to these highs, then we start to see there's a midline there. So anyway, we get this pretty strong move up, and this is actually that's pretty tempting, that double test right there, but it just looks congested, and that was something yesterday. There was a similar situation. It was actually like a failure far away from the EMA, and Mac, I think he didn't like it because this was a strong move up. I do kind of like this double test though, and a lower high. But the problem is it's congested. These are all inside bars, so I don't think you can take that because of that. But then if you're patient, you get this move to a new high, and you get a first entry, failed second entry, confirming that trend line. Really, you could argue for this to be confirmation, but you get that failure, good enough for a scalp, and then we're just in a range. You can see that without the trend lines. Looks like a break higher that fails, and then it bounces, and the failure comes up here, and that's a little, it's too far from the EMA, and with all this choppiness, I'm not comfortable taking that. You get this move up, and you get this move down, overshoot, leads to a break, and then we get this move up, and you do get a first entry, second entry. These just look like all inside bars of this one, so I'm not crazy about that. But when you get that higher low, and it looks like a failure, take that. And then this didn't break higher. You might even take that on the second entry because it's off the trend line. But when you get this higher low, I like that for 4 ticks. And then you get another second entry, but by then I think this trend is played out. Or not played out, I'm sorry, but it's just late in the trend. And you can see other people thought that too. It went higher, but then comes back down. You get this, so I like to mark these traps because I like these lower highs. But you can see this is just congestion. 4 bars stacked up. And more importantly, you wouldn't have had the trend line drawn like that in real time probably, but you'd probably have it drawn like this, and you're going right into that trend line. So that should be reason not to take it. I don't think you can go long here. Just far away from the EMA, and we don't know if this range is going to pull prices back in. But eventually you get this slight overshoot, and that probably is what leads to this break. We come up here and we're just chopping around, move to a new high, and you don't get a failure set up. You get a break of this move down, 2 legs down to a new low, and I guess people played this like a failure, and that's why you got this big bar, but it doesn't look good from here, really. And then we come up here and you get this second entry short after we just tested this price level. Then you get a double test of that price level, and it's a lower high, but you're going right into the EMA, so it's risky. And then you might be looking at this as a second entry long. But after the break of this channel, that's definitely risky. Really, you might have this channel drawn like that. Yeah, that looks, off the highs, that looks better. So that's really risky. I think I would be playing it like a range, but you would have had it drawn like that at that time. In the end, though, I think it was like that, with this being the midline, these touches. So anyway, you come down, you test the lows again, test the lows of the channel, bounce, you get this failure, but we're not looking for a failure, and then you get this sharp move up, a break, couple legs up to a new high at the overnight highs, and first entry. This is actually a failure. This would be very aggressive, though. Look how far. I mean, it just feels like we're very far away, even though we're not that far from the EMA. It is a few ticks away, so it's just risky. And then you get a break, move to a new low, and then we just come up here and you're pretty much at the end of the day there. So that's how I saw it today. I hope everyone has a great weekend. There's one more look at it, and I'll be back next week.